Welcome back to another episode of the Paycheck. I am your host, Justice. I used to be Pay. This is the best hip hop podcast in the world. The numbers just don't reflect it yet. Today, we got a few things to talk about. Firstly, being Drake, UMG, the whole defamation situation, that whole thing. We got Lapdog, aka Snoop Dogg, and his situation that just came up recently. And we got the power dynamics between streamers and rappers. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. And there's really only one thing. I know I just asked you to like, comment, subscribe, but there's only one thing that I really ask of you. If you're going to watch this podcast for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 30, the whole way through, however long you're going to watch it, I ask of you to respond to the things I'm saying and not react. Because oftentimes in society, we are just reacting all the time to people's opinions. We just say the first thing that comes to mind, just spit it out of our mouth. What I want you to do is actually listen to me. Listen to me, not with the goal of counteracting whatever I'm saying or with the goal of trying to prove me wrong, but listen in the hopes of actually providing a response that shows that you understood what I said. And now you can maybe refute if you think I'm wrong or maybe add on. Just whatever you're going to do when you respond, just please make it known that you actually tried to listen and understand me. Not saying that I'm somebody important or whatever, but I think it's just better for us as people to understand each other a bit more and actually listen to what each other are saying. And I'm guilty of it too. I do it all the time. But I just ask of you to respond and not react to this podcast. But first things first, let's talk about Drake. So Drake recently filed a defamation lawsuit against his own label, UMG, Universal Music Group, one of the biggest, probably the biggest music label in the world if you're unaware. And the whole situation surrounding Drake really just brings one word to mind as of recent, and that word is lame. That's the only way I can describe how I feel about Drake right now in this whole situation. It's just lame. He looks lame. And if you're unaware, I'll start a few months ago, November of 2024. He filed 2 legal petitions, and a petition isn't a lawsuit, but it's like the preamble to a lawsuit. 2 legal petitions against UMG and Spotify, and then one against UMG. The one against UMG and Spotify was for illegally bolstering Not Like Us, artificially inflating the song with pay-to-play agreements, bots, payola, and a licensing agreement where UMG has a licensing rate for all of their songs on Spotify, but according to this petition, they lowered it by 30% in order to get Spotify to put the song in places where it didn't belong. So you would be listening to an R&B playlist, Not Like Us pops up. You're listening to country, Not Like Us pops up. You're listening to 1950s pop music, Not Like Us plays up. Basically just saying they were putting the song everywhere in exchange for a payment in a roundabout way. And then he had another one, which was for defamation against just UMG. So the first one was against UMG and Spotify for colluding together, conspiring to make Not Like Us bigger than it was. And then the other one was just against UMG for defaming him, allowing that song with all those horrible claims about him to come out in order for them to possibly devalue Drake in the hopes of keeping him in a negotiation for a cheaper price. Because either Drake's contract has already expired or it's expiring soon. And UMG, according to Drake, was trying to keep him for a much lower price by showing him, hey, look what happened with Not Like Us. People really don't like you. The whole, certified lover boy, certified PDF file thing. Like, I don't know if you're worth what you're actually asking for right now. So let's give you a little bit less. That's the whole summary in a nutshell of what Drake was doing with these legal petitions a few months ago. But recently, he actually rescinded the legal petition claiming that UMG and Spotify conspired together to illegally boost Not Like Us with bots and all that payola and all that stuff. He took that one away, but actually doubled down on the defamation side of things and is just flat out suing UMG for defamation. And I want to say this as well. I've been a Drake fan pretty much my whole life. Like for the last 10, 15 years, since 2009, I've been a Drake fan. I like his music, loved his music. He's always one of my most listened to artists. I've always been a fan of his. He's never been my favorite rapper, or maybe not for very long periods of time. He's not a guy that I've been like a stan of or anything like that. Like I've never been too into Drake the person necessarily, but I've just always loved Drake's music. So this isn't me coming from a place of a hater. This is me just being somebody just looking at the situation and describing how I feel. He looks lame. He looks very lame, suing his label for defamation in regards to things that were said in a rap beef. It just looks crazy. Now, what I will say is I'm not surprised that he's being a sore loser, because a few months ago, when Not Like Us first came out, and we were pretty sure that this was going to be like the final blow, but we weren't all the way sure. We were like, maybe Drake comes back with something even crazier. I was like, if this is the end with Not Like Us, if this really is the knockout blow to Drake and this is the end of the beef, he's going to be a sore loser about this. And he's being a sore loser right now. So I'm not surprised by that, but it's just the way that he's being a sore loser, because I can kind of relate to being a sore loser because I kind of am one. Like sometimes I am a very sore loser, especially when it comes to sports, video games. Like I can be a sore loser at times. I'm not going to lie. So being a sore loser isn't necessarily what I have a major problem with. It's the way that Drake's being a sore loser. If he was being a sore loser in the respect of like, he keeps trying to get it back in the way that he lost it. Like he just kept dissing Kendrick over and over again. Every song has some sort of dig at Kendrick, or maybe he's even still releasing, diss songs every now and then. I would look at him and be like, bro, you're being a sore loser. Like you got to chill, just accept the L because that's the best thing to do. But at least I could respect that. There's a little bit of respect in me seeing you trying to get it the way you lost it, because I can relate to that. We've all been, the younger sibling, the younger cousin who just keeps losing to their older sibling or older cousin or older family member, whatever, your uncle, whatever. We've all been there where we just keep losing to that person in 2K, right? We just keep playing them in 2K and we just keep losing every time we play them. But you consistently ask for a rematch. Again, you just want to play, you want to play. Let me play. Come on, run it back. Eventually until you get a win, right? We've all been that younger person trying to beat the older person at 2K or in a video game, another video game, or maybe one-on-one in basketball. Like we've all been there. So I feel like we could all relate to that. It's just the way he's going about trying to get his revenge of some sort. You know what I'm saying? Like it just looks lame to take it to court, because Drake is not innocent or not guilty of defamation either, because this was a very even beef in terms of what they were accusing the other side of doing. If Drake was just keeping it strictly to short jokes and he was saying like, your contract splits are bad, you'll never be as big as me, I'm better than you, my numbers are better than yours, I got more fans than you, my tickets sell more, I got more merch sale. If he was just like keeping it on like some pretty regular disses, and then he said, okay, this is defamation for you to call me a PDF file, I would be like, you know what? It's still kind of lame to do that in a rap beef, but at least the disses were here. They were very uneven, but they weren't. Drake was being just as defamatory as Kendrick was being. And I know he's not suing Kendrick, and I guess that's like the saving grace in this whole situation is that, well, I'm not suing Kendrick. I'm still suing, but I'm not suing Kendrick. Like it mentions over and over again in the lawsuit, if you actually read it, that he's not suing Kendrick. Like we get it. But you're suing for the things that Kendrick said. So regardless, Drake claimed that Kendrick Lamar beats his woman, that he doesn't want to be with her, he's cheating on her all the time, and that he's out here living like a bachelor, and that his son is not his, and it's actually one of his friends and business partner's kid who slept with his woman. These are some of the things that Drake claimed about Kendrick Lamar. So for him to turn around and say, UMG, why would you let Kendrick say those things about me when you were saying stuff that wasn't as bad? I'll give you that. Being a woman beater and a PDF, apples and oranges, but I would say that PDF is probably worse, right? But like, regardless, it's not like they were completely out of each other's class. It's not like I said, your shoes are ugly and you told me my mom died. Like it's not or you want my mom to die. These are not disses that are just completely uneven in terms of defamatory claims. So it looks really crazy when Drake does this, because UMG is the label for both of them. And so if your stuff is okay to release, why wouldn't Kendrick's? And that's why it just makes him look really, really bad. It just looks like he is spiraling. And I know that it sounds corny to bring that up because Kendrick said it, but when Kendrick first said that, he's looking paranoid and now he's spiraling. I'm like, all right, he's just kind of talking. I get it. It's a rap beef. You're going to say things, but damn, man, he kind of is. It's kind of undeniable to look at this situation and say he's not spiraling for suing for defamation in a rap beef. I don't care if he's suing the Pope. It doesn't matter if he's not suing Kendrick. He's still suing for the song being released. It looks crazy. Even his biggest supporter, DJ Academic, said, I don't know about this one, y'all. This is kind of a ooh. Even he's like, I wouldn't have sued. So it just looks bad. And even on the fronts, there's even fronts within this fight that Drake is going on right now that I actually am kind of on his side. And I would say that that's the LeBron thing. The LeBron situation, in the beginning, I was on his side because what do you mean LeBron's dancing to Not Like Us? These guys have been friends for however long now. Drake made the song, or he was part of the song that was like the soundtrack to Bron's like first major documentary. Like, these guys have been kicking it for years, partying together, celebrating LeBron's championships, going out to clubs. They in Toronto. Like, they've been boys for a very long time. Doing podcast episode interview. They've been cool for a long time, at least to us. I'm just operating off what I've seen. Maybe some stuff happened. We don't know. But they've been cool for a long time. Drake was showing up to Bronny's high school games. Bronny and LeBron were walking out with Drake during his last tour. It looked like they were cool. So to see LeBron then go and dance to a song calling his supposed friend a PDF file, yeah, I was with Drake. That's crazy as hell. Because Bron, they not like a hey, they not like, hey, certified lover boy, certified. Like, that looks crazy. So I was with Drake. I'm like, whoa, what is LeBron doing? Like, this is kind of wild. Like, I love LeBron, but that's a crazy look. I'm not going to lie. Going to the pop out, dancing to the song. When they were at the Olympics and they play the song and Curry goes, man, I'm kind of sick of this song. They play it so much. And LeBron goes, I love it. I love this song. I hope they never stop playing it. I love it every time they play it. He was looking crazy to me because if that's your guy, how are you going to dance to a song calling him a PDF file? I don't know about y'all, but I don't do my friends like that. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of wild. I get it if two people are having beef and you're cool with both of them, but when they start accusing each other of stuff like that, I feel like that's when you should probably fall back if that's been your friend for 15 years. Same with DeMar DeRozan. He was looking crazy too. I get it. He's from Compton. Kendrick's his dude. That's his homie. He's got to stick with his hometown. Cool. But you in the video where they calling your friend a PDF file and then you coming out and saying, it's a rap beef. I had to side with my hometown, but I still got love for Drake. No, you don't. You don't have love for Drake. There's nobody on earth who I have love for, who I'm going to co-sign them being called a PDF file. And yes, you're co-signing it if you are in the music video, if you're dancing to the song, if you're posting yourself, you're co-signing it. So the whole Drake situation or the whole LeBron situation with Drake, I was on his side. I'm like, yeah, Bron's moving crazy. But then he drops the Fighting Irish freestyle. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's the way I would personally want to go about it. But who knows? Maybe I would. I don't know. He's just moving kind of crazy. God forbid we have to, tarnish your public image, basically being like, hey, Bron, chill out because you was with me on them 2-mans and stuff. And, if we put that out, you might be in trouble. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know about the way he's going about things. It just looks, it looks kind of lame. Like, if it's a secret, when y'all friends, keep it a secret after. Unless it's something that, could lead you to be in jail or maybe something where he's lying about something you did. Okay, but like, if it has nothing to do with the reasons you guys are falling out, I feel like that should just be kind of left unsaid. And that's just kind of like, and if Bron's cheating on his wife, then he's wrong for that. But you were there the whole time. You were enabling it. And now you're trying to I don't know, man. It's just lame. It's just not something I think somebody who's being thorough would do. Even though I'm not from Philly, that's just not something somebody who's being thorough would do, in my opinion. But we can look a little bit more into the lawsuit, right? Because the lawsuit claims that UMG purposely was spreading these false defamatory claims in order to devalue Drake as a commodity, right? They were trying to get him to stay for cheaper in a negotiation. Now, Drake claims that his and his family's safety has been possibly compromised, and he even insinuates that that shooting that happened at his house was possibly due to Not Like Us. Now, he doesn't say, they shot at me because of Not Like Us, but he mentions the song, calling him and his friends a PDF file, his home being pictured in the cover art with the Predators, the Predator markers on it, and he mentions the fact that this song kind of portrays that the people should take some sort of vigilante justice against Drake and his sicko behavior, according to the song. And so he basically says that I'm not saying that it led to violence directly, but it's not crazy for me to make that connection. That's one of the claims that's in the lawsuit. He also claims that, he doesn't claim, but he also adds in that Lucien Grange, the UMG CEO, was recently named in a Diddy lawsuit. Now, he's not saying you were with Diddy, so no. He was saying that you understand how false allegations can possibly ruin a career or can be very damaging to somebody's public perception. So why would UMG do this against me? He mentions some sort of quote that Lucien put out when he was mentioned in the Diddy lawsuit, basically saying it was all false and that we should be very careful with these claims because they could ruin lives. And basically he's saying, look, Lucien, you got listed in a Diddy lawsuit and you understand how damaging this stuff can be. So why are y'all doing it to me. And some of the worst parts of the lawsuit, to me personally, this is one of the worst parts, is when Drake claims that when Kendrick said, wop, 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 dot, fuck 'em up, when he said that, that was a call to violence. Wop, 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 wop was a threat because those are the sounds when you hitting somebody. That was a call to violence. Wop, 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 wop was a call to violence. Mm. Drake's looking like a Karen. I'm not gonna lie. This is Karen behavior. And then he said, wop, 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 wop. Yeah, come get this guy. Please come arrest him. That's some Karen behavior. Wop, wop, wop is a call to violence. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just stuff in here that makes him, like, you can't defend that. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. Him saying wop, 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 and you claiming that's a call to violence, like, really? And then because of the whole situation with the AI Tupac thing where I forgot what exactly Kendrick said, but he basically said that you're not going to be able to do a show in Oakland, or Oakland's not going to be cool with the disrespect to Pac. The lawsuit claims that Kendrick Lamar was raised in Oakland. I don't know where that came from. It's very clear he's from Compton, says it all the time, from LA, says it all the time. I don't know where Oakland got thrown into this mix where you're saying that he's from, I don't know, whatever. Regardless, just more evidence of this lawsuit just looking kind of crazy. And then probably the worst part of this lawsuit is where Drake says that UMG was again trying to spread this defamation in order to benefit in their own pockets and also to devalue Drake. But he says that UMG was spreading defamation by allowing YouTubers to post reaction videos to Not Like Us without the video being copyrighted. Because basically when you react to a video on YouTube, very rarely do you get to actually play like big portions of the song without the whole video being copyrighted. But with Not Like Us, the fans, or not the fans, well, I guess they're fans, right? But the YouTube reactors were allowed to react to the content, the music, and include some of the music in the actual video without the video being copyrighted. And that was just kind of like a cool thing that they did to obviously, yes, spread the song, but to allow content creators to give their real reactions and not have to cut it up and chop it up and edit and do all that. Like, they could just react to the song. And Drake mentioned these YouTubers, and he included all their thumbnail screenshots and the number of views they got. Kai Cenat got 16 million. RDC got 2 million. Zeus and Bilu got 10 million. And basically just said, like, look at UMG. They were spreading this just horrible stuff about me, and even allowing content creators to spread it without even trying to punish them, which is crazy because more times than not, they would punish these guys for using UMG's music in their videos without giving them a cut. Now, I will say, does that show UMG was trying to spread Not Like Us as much as they could? Yes, it does. Absolutely. But at the same time, you were doing the same thing for your diss songs. And again, you were claiming some stuff about Kendrick. So it's just really weird to me that he would do that. And not only like he would do that, but it's just the people he did it to. These are all big names in the black hip hop YouTube space. Kai Cenat even, somebody who he's cool with. Directly cool with. It's just weird. Again, he's not suing them, but putting them in there is kind of like you're telling, bro, like, you need to go copyright these guys. You need to go take their videos down. You look weak. You look soft. You look like a Karen. I'm not saying Drake is those things, but that's how it looks. That's what I'm focusing on. His optics right now are horrible. He looks like a Karen. Because why are you telling the courts that, oh my gosh, look, UMG didn't take these guys' video down. Look, you see all these black creators, he didn't take their videos down. And that's the thing that makes Drake look even worse, because race was a big topic during this whole beef situation. And all the creators he listed are black. And of course, most of the hip hop creators are going to be black, but one of his main buddies, Aiden Ross, he reacted to the song. He's not in there. So again, it's just the certain things that Drake does that make him look optically really bad. I'm not saying Drake's a Karen. I'm not saying anything necessarily about Drake's character. I don't know about his character, but he looks lame. These moves make him look really lame. And if I were like to compare how I feel about Drake, hold on. Let me get some water. Sorry. But if I were to compare Drake to anything in real life, I would say Drake right now is giving like the cool uncle vibes. And what I mean by that is like, when you're a little kid and you got an uncle, maybe he's 25, 26, 27, and, he lives with your grandma, but he doesn't live with her. He's in the basement and he's got it decked out. He's got his favorite sports team stuff all over. It looks cool. Couch reclines. It's nice. Everything down there is fresh. He got the newest game station. He's always playing some hot music. He got a cut. He's nice. He got women all the time. He was really good at basketball in high school. He was a star player, and he's always taking you to play basketball and talking about what he could do, and he's showing you, and look at this. Look at, I used to play against him in high school, and he's cool. He's a cool dude. He plays a video game with you. He's really good at the video game. Like, he's your cool uncle. Like, he's lit, right? And then as you get older and older and you get to, your teenage years, you're not 5, 6, 7 anymore, and you see your uncle and he's still down there in that basement. It's still decked out, it's still nice, but you're like, man, like, you don't want to get your own spot. He's still messing with, a whole bunch of different women. They're a little younger. They're like 20, 22, 23, and you're like, Unc, like, dang, man, like, you ain't gonna get a wife? And like, Unc, that girl was kind of young, like, you about 36, 37, huh? Like, hey, she like 22. Like, he's still going to, the local high school games, except now, you're in high school now. So he's like going to the game with you. And he's like, man, I used to dominate this court, man. Like, see you, man, right there. I used to see right there on that elbow. That's where I pulled up for the game winner against Jonestown, man. It was crazy, man. You had to be there, man. I was really him, bro. I was really him. And you just looking at him like, dang, man, like, Unc, you still down here playing these video games? Yeah, man. I'm hooping 2K, 90% win percentage, 500 games played in the first 6 months. Like, and you just looking at him and you like, dang, man, like, Unc kind of lame. Like, that's still Unc. Like, you love him, but like, that's kind of a rough look. That's how I feel about Drake right now. Like, dang, man, Unc kind of lame. He still do his thing, but I don't know, man. Like, you're not progressing. Like, you're not. Like, you just looking at him and you just feel like he's a relic. And I don't mean that Drake is a relic in terms of his music, but like, I don't know. He just feels lame. And I'll say this about the L that Drake took in this beef. It really isn't that bad. Well, it was bad, but it could have been not as bad as he's making it now. Like, obviously he was humiliated on a world scale. Everyone knows about it. Everyone was singing Not Like Us. Everyone was saying Certified Lover Boy, certified, you know what. So it was bad. Excuse me. But it could have been so much easier to move on from this. All Drake had to do was take the L, be like, you know what? I lost. That's cool. I'm going to move on. I'm fine. I'm still Drake at the end of the day. I'm Drake, damn it. All right. I'm number one on the most streamed rapper every single year, even in 2024 when everyone was singing wop, 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 threatening to beat him up, apparently. So he was still number one. So all he had to do was say, you know what? You got it. I lost. I'm going to be back, though, for sure. I'm still coming back to get that, but I lost. And he would have just had to sit down for a little minute and maybe about summer of 2025, start ramping up a comeback, drop a single, drop another single, and then drop an album. And I guarantee you the blow would be much softer at this point. Of course, people are still going to joke. They're still going to laugh. They're still going to point their finger. Ha, Kendrick dominated you. But if Drake just came back with some good music in 2025, summer of 2025, and people were still, talking about the Kendrick stuff, most people would be like, yeah, I mean, he lost, but damn, like, you still on that? You still talking about Not Like Us, bro? Like, you got to move on. Drake just dropped some bangers. Drake just went number one. Drake just had 6 of his songs be the top 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. What are you talking about, bro? Not Like Us is cool, but damn, leave it alone. That would have been the sentiment. Yeah, Kendrick won, but like Drake's still dropping bangers, like, whatever. It is what it is. It happened. It would have been a much softer blow. Much softer. Now, I get it. He's trying to get over on UMG, I guess, and he's not going to win this lawsuit. It's very hard to win a defamation case as a public figure anyway, but especially when you're going against a juggernaut like UMG, that's going to be really hard to do. But all he had to do was really just sit this one out. Just sit out for a little bit, make people miss you just a little bit, and come right back in. He could have came in doing some Caribbean stuff, maybe some UK. I don't know what he was going to come back with, but literally anything, and he probably would have been much better. And it's crazy because it's not like Drake hasn't taken an L before in a beef. He lost to Pusha T. And he came back with Scorpion and just moved right along. Now, of course, people still remember it. You're hiding a son. Like, that's still a big deal. But at the end of the day, his bottom line didn't change. It really didn't change. Nothing really drastic about Drake's career changed. Now, I will say this. Pusha T is much smaller than Kendrick, and that's probably why things didn't change as much, and that's probably why Drake was able to move on a little bit easier from losing this beef in comparison to the Kendrick one. Because at the end of the day, no matter what Pusha T said about Drake, no matter if he dunked on him, slammed on him, put his nuts on his head, crossed him up, sham God, it don't matter what, no matter how bad Pusha T could have dominated Drake or would have, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, Pusha's down here. Like, respectfully, Pusha's a great artist, but he has maybe an 100th of the popularity, maybe even less, an 1,000th of the popularity that Drake has. So regardless, at the end of the day, it's still here. You might have won that little, okay, it's still here. So I think that maybe Drake's ego was able to take that loss a little bit better, knowing at the end of the day, he's never going to touch me. Never. People might still joke about it or whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm Drake, bruh, and you're Pusha T. There's nothing you can do. So maybe that softened the blow on his ego just a bit to be able to still say I'm the big dog. But with Kendrick, when it's somebody who's, on or slightly below his level of popularity, I guess this L is just a little harder to take on his ego. Personally, he just can't move past it like he could with Pusha T. So I think that that's why this might be sticking with him just a little bit harder, because this is a guy who actually can threaten his spot at the number one. This is a guy who can actually threaten his numbers. Now, I don't think he'll ever, surpass Drake, at least not in the very foreseeable future, maybe in like 5 years. But even then, I don't know if Kendrick will be super active in 5 years. Drake's still going to be number one regardless. But Kendrick's number 2 or 3 or 4. So he's not that far behind in terms of popularity. So maybe that's why this is a little bit harder for Drake to take, because not only is Kendrick seen as number 1 by people just like in terms of who is the best, he's not that far off in terms of popularity. And he's about to do the Super Bowl. So maybe that's why it's a little harder for Drake. But regardless, Drake is going outside. He's looking lame. He's looking like a Karen, all of those things. But we're going to move on into the next segment of somebody who's going out even sadder than Drake, if you can even believe that's possible right now. Just give me a second. Let me get some water real quick before we really get into this, because this is the one I really want to talk about. So, Rick Ross, Nelly, Soulja Boy, and Snoop Dogg. 4 artists who performed for Trump's inauguration events over the last weekend or so. Now, honestly, I don't care about most of these people. I'm going to be real. Soulja Boy, he already came out and was cussing people out. I don't care about none of that. Trump put money in my pockets. Obama ain't never did nothing for me. Kamala ain't never did nothing for me. He's Soulja Boy. He's ignorant. He's going to do his thing. We don't care, right? Like that's cool. I don't really mind that. These dudes, for the most part, are done in rap. And what I mean by that is there's just not that much career left, if any at all, right? Nelly, there's really no future for Nelly in rap. He can still do some performances, maybe in Vegas, have some sort of like residency thing going, but nobody's really knocking down the door for new Nelly music in 2025. Soulja, same thing. He might have a song here and there because he still finds a way to make some song with some buzz every now and then. He's pretty good at that, but not that much future for him in rap. Rick Ross, he's still doing his thing. I'm not gonna lie. Rick still has some time ahead of him in the rap game. He's not a top dog. He's not a D1 player right now. He's not a guy who's averaging 25 points per game. He's not an all-star, but he's still a solid role player. He's like a modern day Russell Westbrook. He can still contribute to the game. He's not going to be the best player on your team or the second or maybe the third, but Russ is playing really well right now, so maybe not Westbrook. Westbrook might be a little too high for him. Maybe like a I'm trying to think of a solid role player. Maybe like an Al Horford. That's a little bit more appropriate. Somebody who can come in and contribute. Not going to do a whole bunch, nothing crazy. He might have a good game, like a really good game every now and then, some good defensive stops, but nothing too crazy. We've seen the best of him. It's in the past, but he's still a solid player. That's who Rick Ross is. He's Al Horford. He's not bad, but there's not that much ahead of him. Snoop Dogg at this point is like barely a rapper, and I don't mean that because he's not making music, because unfortunately, Snoop Dogg actually is releasing like a lot of music, but Snoop Dogg is just a mascot for whichever corporation's going to pay him the most at this point. So nobody really cares about Snoop Dogg in terms of like musical relevance. So Yeah, and I will say this. I get why these guys did it. I get it for the check, right? I get it. And at the end of the day, all of these guys, or at least all of them should be, they all are or should be one percenters right now. They're one percenters in terms of, the money they make in comparison to the rest of the population. And at this point in their life, there's more that they can get by being with those people, with Trump in them, than there are by being with us. There's not that much they can get from us anymore. Right? Maybe they can do some shows every now and then. Snoop Dogg can still do like a nostalgia tour, do some big shows. But Nelly, Soldier, there's not that much they can get from us. And it's much more beneficial for them to be on the other side. And again, at the end of the day, they're one percenters. And obviously, one percenters are going to benefit from a Trump presidency more than anyone else. And I will say this. Yeah, you might be mad because, they're not of the culture, they're from the culture, they're black African Americans, but they're going on that side. But that's not what this is. I want you to look at me and hear me very clearly. This is not a black versus white thing. This is not a hip hop culture versus not hip hop culture thing. This is not an inner city versus suburbs thing. This is not a public versus private school thing. At the end of the day, it's poor versus rich. And if you're not the top, you are the poor. Yes, you making $100,000. You are the poor. I know that sounds kind of crazy, and I'm gassing it. I am. But you get what I'm trying to say. If you're not an elite, you're everyone else. And it's us versus them, and they are a member of them. So I don't expect them to be loyal to us. I'm not sitting here and being like, I can't believe they weren't loyal to the black community. They're one percenters. It's us versus them. They are a member of them, or about as close as you can. Snoop Dogg definitely is, but the rest of them are trying to stay up there. They don't want to be with us. That's their worst nightmare. They want to be up there. Snoop Dogg's already up there, but the rest of them, well, Rick Ross as well, he's up there, but they want to stay up there. They don't want to be down here with us. And that's going to be really the motive. Oh, that's going to be the main theme over the next 4 years. It's going to be us versus them, poor versus rich. Even if you're doing well for yourself, it's that middle ground is getting smaller and smaller. Regardless, you're not here to talk about that, even though, whatever, I don't care. So the rest of them I'm not really mad at, but the one person I'm really kind of confused by is Lapdog. I'm not going to call him Snoop Dogg. He's Lapdog. So for the rest of this episode, when I say Lapdog, I'm referring to that 60-year-old crip from LA who used to be a rapper. Lapdog. Lapdog was the biggest I hate Trump. Trump is bad. Trump's a racist. Trump is a white supremacist advocate of all celebrities. Like, if you were to make a list of celebrities who were so vocal about their Trump hate, he would at least be top 10. And if we're talking about black celebrities, he's probably one. Snoop Dogg was I dead named him, sorry. Lapdog was the number one Trump, anti-Trump, I hate Trump guy. He called people jigaboos. He called them coon, Uncle Tom. He called them all type of stuff for supporting Donald Trump. He used to get in Kanye's. He used to give Kanye the blues about supporting Donald Trump. So to see Lapdog go over there and be performing for Trump and them is really just crazy. And Lapdog's always been a guy who's gonna do whatever is best for him, right? In terms of a check. He's always been the guy of whatever you want me to do, just give me the right check and I'll do it. That's always been Lapdog's motto. That's why you see him in every commercial. But to sell out your own personal values and morals is kind of crazy. Again, he's a one percenter. He's a 100 millionaire. So I'm not surprised that he would take that side. But it's just when you've been so adamant about not being a Trump supporter and how evil he is and how dumb and racist his fan base is, to then go and make this move is crazy. You look insane. And I just wish we could personally see the check. And so we could read the amount to see how much it costs to buy Lapdog's whole. How much does it cost to get Lapdog to bend over and give it up? I want to know. I just want to know. I'm just curious, just so I can see, oh, okay, that's how much. All right. Not bad, I guess. I just want to know. I'm just curious because this is crazy. And it's so crazy because all you have to do is just play Lapdog's own words against him. That's all you have to do. He literally had a video when the inauguration first happened for Trump in 2017 saying, so which one of you jigaboo gonna perform for him? Which one of you, Coon, Uncle Tom, perform? Which one of y'all gonna do it so I can roast y'all? And then he went and did it. It's just so, there's nothing more poetic than to see somebody do something and not even have to really get into them on your own. You can just play them talking about their future self. That's the best thing to do. Lapdog literally played himself. That's what he did. And there, I won't say it's rumors, but the co-founder of Death Row, which is Lapdog's label, was recently, not recently, he was pardoned by Trump. And so I guess that made Lapdog completely switch up. And, I guess I get it. If he did something for you, he let your friend out of prison. I guess not being so hard on him makes sense. But there's a difference between not being super hard on somebody and flipping completely. Because you were telling us he was the most evil man on the planet. He's racist. He's white supremacist. All that. But all it took was for him to do one thing for you. And now you love him and you're performing for him. That's crazy. And that goes to show you that you were not against Donald Trump because you're a member of the people and he's bad for the people. And hey, y'all get behind me. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him for you. Yeah, we going to go get him. Let's go. Everybody, come on, let's go. No, you were doing it because it was beneficial to you at the moment. Maybe somebody was paying Lapdog back then and we didn't know, or maybe, who knows, right? Whatever it was. But if all it takes is for him to do one thing for you to completely flip from he's evil, he's the worst person ever to, oh, I love him. I have nothing but love and respect for the president. That means that you were never anti-Trump. You were just mad that you couldn't get a piece of what he was offering. That's all. You were just mad because you didn't get your cut yet. Where was my cut? That's all that was. And honestly, you know what's so funny about this situation to me is that Trump and his team, they're very well aware of the fact that Lapdog was not a fan of them. They're very well aware of that fact. They know that. And honestly, I think that's part of the reason why they had him perform. Because Lapdog was talking about Uncle Toms and Coons and all that. But you're literally shucking and jiving for them. You literally got on stage in the pimps in the crib, ma, drop it like. You literally were shucking and jiving. Not exaggerating. Literally on stage, shucking and jiving for all those people you were calling racist. You were saying that they were white supremacists. They were the new triple K. All that stuff you were saying. And now you on stage, literally shucking and jiving. And there's I know they're laughing at him. I know they were. I know they were like, look at this clown. Look at Lapdog. He was saying all that stuff about us. All it took was one little measly check and look at him. He's up there shucking and jiving for us guys. That's how they saw Lapdog. They were like, come here, boy. Come here. Oh, guys, he's aggressive. Oh, he's aggressive. Look, he's snapping at us. Look, give him a treat. Here you go, Lapdog. Come here. Oh, he took it. Look, he took it. He's wagging his tail. That's all it took. That's how they saw Lapdog. Come here, boy. Come here. You want this? Oh, you got to be nice. Play nice. No bite. Lapdog. Roll over. Shake. Give me your hand. Give me your paw. Speak. Good Lapdog. Good boy. That's how they saw him. Because I know that's how I would. If somebody was talking so crazy about me for years and years, and all I had to do was cut them a little check, and now they're literally dancing for me, do you think I'm going to have respect for that person? Would you? Think about it yourself. Would you have respect for that person if for years they were talking crazy about you, saying the worst things imaginable, and all it took was for you to give them a little something, and now they're dancing for you? Would you have respect for that person? Of course not. No, you wouldn't. Nobody with any sense would have respect for that person. Because at the end of the day, even if somebody hates my guts and thinks what I'm doing is deplorable and I'm this and I'm that and I'm all, I can respect somebody who stands their ground. That's why I can't stand 99% of the stuff that Kanye West says and 99% of the stuff that comes out of his mouth. But at least he stands his ground. At least he stands by what he said. At the very least, he's going to give you his opinion and he's going to stick to it. Unless it changes slightly or something. But Lapdog didn't change his opinion because he never had one. He just went with whatever was best for him at that time. And so I hope that his new grift of being MAGA, I guess, and celebrating the president, I hope that for this new grift, the people, the MAGA people, regardless of if I like them or not, I hope they remember what Lapdog said about them. I hope that they're very conscious of the things he was saying about them a few years ago, about them being white supremacists, racist, all that. They're trash, they're stupid. I hope they remember all that. Don't let him go over there and be your little friend now. And so, for as much as people want to talk about Drake going outside, there's nobody on this planet right now, in my opinion, that's going out more sad than Lapdog. Nobody. Because if he would have never said anything about his politics and then popped out as a Trump supporter, I would have been like, it sucks, but like, I get it. He's a super rich dude. It makes sense. I'm not surprised. He's doing what's best for his pocketbook. That makes sense. But when you're so adamant and so vocal about how he's so bad, and then you go and do that, there's no respect to be had for you. None. Because you are a lapdog. Quite literally. That's all there really is. So that's all I really wanted to say about Lapdog. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I hope that nobody lets him forget this. I hope nobody lets Lapdog forget the move he just did, because this is a really sad look. He used to kill Kanye just to go do the same thing. And it just goes to show that he's loyal to this. That's all it is. That's all is in here. There's nothing in here. He has no heart. None. He didn't have a change of heart. He didn't change his mind. That's all it took. That, and I guess his friend getting out of jail. Besides that, he's not loyal to anything. So shout out to Lapdog, man, for going out sad. And then for the last topic, we're going to talk about the streamer and rapper dynamic. Let me get another drink of water because I've been talking for a little minute. All right, no breaks. I don't have a co-host. So now, I know we've all seen the Lil TJ and Blackboy Max situation by now. Everyone's talked about it to death. Blackboy Max was doing a stream, Fabio Foreign, Lil TJ show up, they're smoking in the Airbnb. He says, hey, can you stop smoking? They say, what? They keep smoking. Hey, can you stop? What? They blow the smoke in his face. Hey, can you? What? And then they leave, right? We all know, everyone was like, wow, they're being so disrespectful. I can't believe this. Why would they do this? Why? Right? But I think that this situation just really fleshed out the reality of the power dynamic between streamers and rappers. And it shows that a lot of rappers still don't really get it. Streamers, I'm not going to say all streamers are the new rappers, but the top tier of streamers, in terms of their motion online, in terms of their influence online, in terms of their clout online, all that stuff, in terms of the money that they make, honestly, they're better than rappers at this point. But we can say, for argument's sake, they're the new rappers online. The top tier of guys. Kai Cenat, Speed, Aiden Ross, Blackboy Max, the rest of like the FaZe group, the rest of AMP, Agent, Duke Dennis, Phantom, all those guys. That level of streamer, that threshold of guys, they are much more influential, much more powerful, much more clouded, all that than most rappers. So the power dynamic there is either even or the streamer is oftentimes helping the rapper. There's only a handful of rappers who can go on a streamer's stream and really be helping them out. I'm really helping Kai Cenat by being here. I'm helping Aiden Ross by being here. I'm helping, Blackboy Max. I'm helping Duke. There's only a real handful of guys, right? That's a Drake, Kendrick, Ye, Travis Scott, maybe a J. Cole, even though J. Cole's never going to go on a stream. Or maybe he does. Who knows? Playboy Cardi, Nicki Minaj. Like, did I say Travis? I think I already said Travis. But, there's a very select few of guys who can go on a stream and be like, I'm kind of the big homie. So for the rest of them, they have to understand that more times than not, they are the one benefiting more in the situation. But they just don't understand that yet. A lot of rappers just don't get that, because at the end of the day, for rappers, the rapper ego has always been a major thing. I'm so-and-so. That's a rapper's justification for 90% of the things they do. Why would you do that? I'm so-and-so. I'm Lil TJ. I'm Fabio Foreign. Why did you act like that? I'm so-and-so. right? So the way that they treated Black Max is not anything new, especially just with dudes in general, specifically from a certain area, but really rappers in general. They all kind of have that attitude. And maybe you just need some of that rapper ego in order to be a successful rapper just in general, but that's not a new thing. That rapper ego that they have is exactly how they treat other members of the media, because these dudes don't see these streamers as people who they are like not at least on the same level as. They see these streamers as little media dudes, right? When they meet a Black Max and they're really not tapped in, they see him as, a guy doing a local radio station show. That's how they see them in their mind. Because the way that Fabio and TJ treated him are the exact ways that a rapper would go and treat a local radio station if a label sends them out there to do an interview. Hey, bro, can you not smoke in here? Fuck up. Hey, bro, can you keep your entourage out the room? They're being kind of loud for an interview. They go wherever I go. We can stop this interview now. That attitude of, you need me here. And if you don't have me here, then you're going to be the one missing out. That attitude has existed for a very long time with rappers, and it's always been a thing when they go and do media anywhere. So, this in their mind isn't much different than that. They don't really get it. But I will say, there are two types of rappers, the rappers that tend to get it and the ones that don't. And the way that both Fabio Foreign and Lil TJ handled this situation after the situation happened showed me that Fabio kind of gets it, or at least he's starting to. TJ does not. So for Fabio, he tried to explain himself. Fabio, he's not like a real intellectual dude in that way, but I don't think he's dumb. He's not dumb, right? He's able to pick up on the context clues, right? So he explains himself. It doesn't really go over that well, but he starts kind of trolling, joking around with it, leaving comments on Max's stuff. And then he drops the song, or makes the song, the Black Max song that he made. I'm the real Black Max or whatever, right? And he's having fun with it. He's kind of teasing Max about the situation, but it's not that deep. He's like, look, my bad. It's not that serious. If he would have been somewhere else, maybe, we would have respected the rules or whatever, right? He's not really tripping about it. His ego isn't too hurt. He's making the song. He even sends Max the song to get on the song. Like, he's fully understanding, okay, you know what? I might have been wrong. I'm not going to apologize because, at the end of the day, I'm still a rapper. But I'm going to play into it. Max has a big impact, and he saw that. He saw his phone blowing up with all the mentions. He saw everything that he commented on, everything he posted, everything. He saw his comments being filled with the people that love Black Max. And he was like, oh, wow, this kid's really popular. So he understood the power that he had, and he said, you know what? I'm a bend the knee a little bit, and we're going to be cool. It's whatever, water under the bridge, and maybe I can get something out of it by dropping this song. On the other hand, we have Lil TJ, who still does not get it, or maybe he does get it, and his ego just won't allow him to, I guess, accept defeat in his mind. Because he goes on stream and says, oh, I would have, man, he lucky the cameras was on, because that could have really went left. I could have slapped him. I really should have slapped him. Like, he's still trying to puff his chest out and say, I'm Lil TJ. I'm Lil TJ. How dare you try to... He's still having that ego. And that's why people are still making jokes about it, making fun of Lil TJ. People are making fun of Fabio too. But people are a little bit more laughing with Fabio at this moment. They're laughing with him. He kind of gets it. He's playing into it. TJ's still taking it serious, still letting his ego lead everything and just being blinded and not accepting that this is an opportunity to help him. And of course, he was like, oh, we could do it in the booth stream. We could still do a stream. But like, he's still having this mentality of, you're lil bro. Respect me. I'm big bro. And I'm not saying that, he needs to accept that he's lil bro or anything like that. But you can't have that mentality with somebody who's more clouded than you and go in there and treat them like they a nobody. You can't have that mentality, especially when they have a following like these streamers do, because you're going to see the backlash of it. You're going to get a whole bunch of hate. Every single thing you post, every single music preview, they're just going to say, lil bro, you're washed. Apologize to Black Max. That's going to be your entire comment section for the next year or so, because this is the biggest thing that either of them have been involved in a very long time. And I think that Fabio was like, damn, I kind of realized that. And tried to flip the narrative a little bit. And TJ was like, I'm Lil TJ. I can't. That attitude, that rapper ego. that rapper ego. And so when you cross these streamers, you see the backlash that comes from it. Remember when Krishan Rock threw that chair and put a hole in Kai Cenat's wall? She couldn't sleep without her mentions being blown up by Kai Cenat supporters. Remember when Playboy Cardi went on Aiden Ross's stream and finessed him out of that $250,000 and said 5 words and left? Aiden's fans were harassing Playboy Cardi. So for these guys that get it, they understand. Well, even if you don't get it, you have to recognize the power that some of these streamers have. If you were to do, some disrespectful stuff to like a Neon, maybe a Jack Doherty or some of these smaller kick streamers, then yeah, sure, you're going to get away with it, because at the end of the day, these rappers act like this because people enable it. Not only the people around them, but the fans as well. Like the fans will see them, treat treat an interviewer bad and be like, damn, that's low-key aura, bro. Like the way he told him to shut the F up when he asked him to stop smoking was aura, bro. Like fans enable it as well. So when they've been behaving like that for so long and they're just getting over on everyone because they are big bro in the situation, they're the more clouded person, the interviewer needs him, whoever needs him, they're used to that. But when they try it on these rappers, it ends up badly. It ends up badly almost every time. And they have to go and repair that situation if they're smart, if they're any sort of aware of what's going on around them and realize how detrimental it could be to their career. There's a reason why when 21 actually, I'm not going to go all the way there yet, but there's a reason why the smart rappers who realize the dynamic of these streamers in comparison to their career try to befriend them so much. There's a reason why, Untitled Chapter and Tory Lanez and some of these guys try to go and be friends with Aiden Ross, or at least were trying to in the very beginning, and they are friends now. And maybe they were just genuinely friends, but I think that there also is an aspect of it of they recognize how beneficial these guys can be to their career. There's a reason why they go and they put their arm around Aiden Ross and say, hey, this is my son Aiden, and if you disrespectful to him, we gonna catch you and we gonna do you bad. Like anybody say something about my boy Aiden right here, we gonna come get you. There's a reason why rappers do that. The smart ones, at least, because they understand the benefits of having that fan base behind them. They get it. They know what's going on. And there's a reason why the dumb ones go on there and try to be big bro and puff their chest out, and they end up getting way more hate than they've ever probably gotten in their career. Remember when Blueface and Krishan went on Aiden's stream and they were being real rude and disrespectful, and they just got a whole bunch of hate, specifically Krishan. And now we're seeing that with Lil TJ and Black Boy Max. They didn't understand, so they face the consequences. But the ones that get it try to be cool with the streamer and be his boy. And, maybe they hit it off legitimately, but still, you can tell when they're kind of overdoing it when they recognize, holy shit, there's 100,000 people watching this. When I go live on Instagram, there's 2,000 people. There's 100,000 people watching this camera right now. Holy, this kid has motion. Oh my gosh, I need him on my team. You can kind of see those gears turning a lot of times. That's why when 21 Savage, now to get to that, remember when he finessed Aiden Ross with that card game and the cards were marked? He knew damn well them cards were marked. But when he realized he was caught and he was on stream, he was, oh my, my bad. I didn't even know, bro. My bad. I'll give you your money back, all that. And that's why the next, couple weeks on stream, 21 Savage is calling him, hey, bro, we gonna do a stream. We're gonna do an Atlanta stream. We're gonna chop this up. We're gonna do some charity. We're gonna do some more content, bro, because that's my bad, bro. I did not mean, damn well he knew them cards was marked. Everybody knew he knew them cards was marked. But when he realized the possible backlash that was in front of him, he tried to chop it up. He tried to piece it up because he understood the backlash that was there. He understood that power dynamic. Now, 21 Savage is one of those guys where he's teetering on, if he goes on an Aiden Ross stream, it's probably like here in terms of power dynamic. Maybe he's a little more, maybe he's a little less, but it's pretty close. But even then, he respected the power dynamic. He respected who Aiden was because he knows what comes behind it. It's not going to be anything physical. Nobody's going to do anything to 21 Savage, of course, but he realizes how detrimental that could be. So he was trying to chop it up. He was trying to piece it up immediately. DDG went on stream with Black Boy Max, had his biggest song in a few years. That Pink Dread song. Obviously, the song is good, but the moments on stream, being in that audience, made it what it was. That's part of why the song had the hype it did. And DDG, in the last few years, has worked with Untitled Chapter. He's worked with a few other people I can't think of the name of off the top of my head, but some notable names in the music industry. But his biggest song in the last 2-3 years is pink dreads with Blackboy Max. That's not a mistake. That's not a coincidence. These guys really have motion on the internet, especially if you get to a speed Aiden Kai. If you get up there and you start acting a fool, oh man, you really might be in trouble. So the streamer and rapper dynamic at the very top of things for streamers is here more times than not. It's here. Of course, the streamer can still benefit by having you on, but you are benefiting way more. If I was somebody who was in the position of a Lil TJ, where my career is kind of sputtering, it's not doing anything really crazy, I'm nowhere near as hot as I was 5 years ago. If I get the chance to be on a Blackboy Max stream, I'm taking it and I'm running with it. If I'm in his situation, I'm like, man, we got to get on one of these streams, bro. We got to kick it. We got to make some music, something, bro. We got to do something. If I'm him. But he doesn't realize, maybe he does, but his ego won't let him accept that he might need this little streaming nerd kid. He doesn't want to accept that. And so as a result, he will get left behind. Not necessarily, it's not like you have to go on a streamer stream or your career's done. But when you're a guy like him and you have an opportunity like that and you miss out on it because of your ego, there's a good chance that you're going to miss out on other things because of your ego. And as a result, he's probably going to be left behind in 2019, 2020. That's where Lil TJ is going to stay. He's still going to have fans. Don't get me wrong. People are still going to want to see him, perform and stuff. But that ego will not allow him to move his career forward in a moment where his music isn't the thing that's going to move it forward. Not right now. Maybe he comes back with a banger in a year and, all this sounds stupid and whatever. But when his music isn't moving the way that he needs it to or the way that he wants it to, when you get an opportunity like that and you miss out on it, that's why you stay in place. And the rappers that get it, get it. Untitled Chapter, his music has been really off and on over the last few years, but he's always been in the front of our minds because he's been on stream. He's been on Kai's stream. He's been everywhere. Aiden's stream. He's been in the front of our faces, regardless of if his music is doing well or not. And that's by design. That's on purpose because he recognizes what type of platform these guys have. But when the streamer and the rapper come together and the rapper doesn't respect that dynamic, we get a Lil TJ. But that's going to be the end of my podcast. I think I did a pretty good episode today. Let me know down below what was your favorite part. Give me some feedback. What do you got to say? What could make it better? What part do you disagree? Is Drake being lame? Is Lapdog a sellout? Honestly, Lapdog is the definition of a sellout. If you tell me he's not a sellout, I don't care. I'm not even going to respond to you. Or I might respond to you and just laugh. If you're going to tell me Lapdog isn't a sellout, regardless of if you're MAGA or not, even if you are MAGA, he's clearly a sellout. Lapdog's a sellout. But let me know what you guys say down below in the comments. I greatly, greatly appreciate you if you made it this far. Truly, truly do. Make sure you have a blessed day. Be safe. Do all that. I go by the name of Pay. Peace.